Hi, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while. I've heard so much about Armor Hobby's P51 Mustangs in 1/72nd scale. When Hobby Easy has them in stock, right away I asked them to send me not one, but all three versions. Now let's take a look at them. The kits comes in end opening boxes, and here is each side of the box looks like. The BC version has a choice of 6 different markings. First is a P51B with the nose art of decals based in UK. Second one is a P51C with the shark's mouth based in China. The third one is a Mark III based in UK. And the fourth one is a F6C based in UK. And the fifth one is a Mark III based in Italy, with the last one being P51C based in France. The F6C version has a choice of 4 different markings. The first one is a French Air Force base in France. The second one is a US Air Force base in England. The third one is a US Air Force base in China. And the last one is also US Air Force base in China. And this one features a shark's mouth nose art. And for the normal kits, P51C Mustang Mark III, there are a choice of 2 different markings. First one is a Polish Air Force base in England, and the second one is the Royal Air Force base in Italy. All the contents are packed in one large plastic bag. There is a small thread of photo etch parts, and the pre-cut masks, a sprue of clear parts, the instructions, and 2 sprues of gray plastic parts. First, let's look at the main sprue R0020. It contains the main parts of the plane, and you can see that the details is very clear. The recessed panel line is very clean and very sharp. The molding is very nice. And there are 2 versions of the tail planes for 2 different versions. There's a slight sink mark on the instrument panels, but I don't think it's important for these scales. And some of the details in the cockpits are so minute and detailed. And the details on the main fuselage are very nicely done too. There's a small sink mark, as you can see on this side of the fuselage. But all in all, the details on the surface of the fuselage are very nicely done. Some of the parts are so small and so finessed, and care must be taken when building those parts and cleaning those parts. And this is the lower wing of the aircraft. You can see some of the rivet details. And in the center section, we can see some stressed skin effect, which is very nice. Unfortunately, all the formation lights and navigation lights are mold solid. On these 2 parts of the wheel well covers, we can still see the texture of the tooling of the mold. Fortunately, these pieces are smooth on the real plane. A bit of sanding will fix that. And then we come to the smaller sprue of R0019. This contains the drop tank, and we can see the details on these drop tanks are very nicely depicted. The propeller, and we can see the detail is so nice for a scale that small. The fins of the bombs can be thinner, but there is a limitation of what injection molding can do. And you can see the details on the radiator. Details are so sharp and clean. And you can also see the stress skin effect on the flaps. Because if you check on the other side, these are not sink marks. And most of the other parts are molded very thinly. These two landing gear doors also have some slight sink marks, but it can be fixed by filling and sanding. Shouldn't be a big issue. And then there's two styles of exhaust. And the wheels are weighted, so it gives a really nice weight effect to the model. Then next we come to the clear parts. As you can see, the clear parts are very thinly molded and also very clear and very sharp. Very little distortion. Next, we come to the instruction. First of all, it has a short description of the plane, and then illustration of all the contents in the kit, followed by a table of all the paints required to finish the kits. Most of the colors are labeled with the Federal Standard number, so matching them is very easy, even if the brand of your favorite paint is not featured in this table. Lastly are some symbols representing different processes when building the kit. Then we go to different steps of building the kits. As you can see, the instruction contains a lot of detailed description of which parts for which version of the plane. And there are lots of decals being used just for the cockpit area. And also the color call out for the painting of the parts are very detailed. And you can see that they had done a lot of research on the details and the coloring of the different parts of the model. And the caption bordered by red square is particularly important for the different version you build. Here is another red square you must pay special attention. And then lastly, we have detailed color profiles of all the different choices of markings of the versions that you can build out of this kit. All in full color with detailed color callouts. And then lastly, we have a bonus marking that wasn't featured at the back of the packaging box, which is very nice. And then let's look at the decals. The decal is very nicely printed. As you can see, all the stencils are very nicely done. They are very sharp and very clean, and the registration is almost perfect, and all the types are readable. And the white is very solid and opaque. The only slight problem is the yellow is slightly translucent. But yellow is always a difficult color to reproduce. All in all, it's a nice piece of decals. Next, we have the photo etch part. The etching is very clean and sharp. And you can see the wire mesh are nicely done for such a small scale. And then lastly, we have the pre-cut masks. These are the vinyl type. As you can see, some of them have shrunk already, so I'm not sure how they fit on the model. Anyways, it's nice to have a piece of mask provided by the kit. And these are all the contents from the BC kits in details. Now let's look at the F6C version and see what's the difference between these kits and the other kit. There's the clear parts, which is the same as the other kit, a thread of photo etch parts, and the pre-cut masks. Instruction as usual, and the two main sprue, which are the same as the other kits. So let's look at the instruction. As you can see, the format is pretty much the same as the other kit. And of course, the decal sheet is different. And as I compared the instruction page by page, they are exactly the same. So pay special attention to the description of every step of the assembly process. And of course, we have different profile illustration for the different markings of this particular model. They are just as nice and in full color. And here is a piece of decal that cannot confirm it exists in the real plane or not. It's nice they tell you the truth. While the others, they also have very nice call out for the color and also the placement of the decals. And here are a couple of bonus markings which are not featured in the bottom of the packaging box. And lastly, we have some advertisement from Arma Hobby. The quality of the decal sheet of this kit is the same as the other one. The printing is good, the registration is perfect, and the white is very opaque and solid. There are two different blues for the US insignia, so I assume they have done their homework really well. There are also trim marks on the Thunderbolt graphics to make rooms for the other decals. It's small details like this that shows Arma Hobby really take good care of the modelers. And the masking sheet of this kit is different. It's made with Japanese washi tape, and there's no sign of shrinkage or distortion. And it looks very nice. And for the photo etch thread, there are a few more parts than the other one, and the quality is the same. And then we come to the third version of the model kits, which simply label as model kits. And there are only a choice of two different markings. And this kit only contains the clear sprue, an instruction, and the two main sprues of parts. There's no photo etch parts, nor there is any masking sheet. The instruction sheet is the same as the other ones, except there's a template for you to cut your own masks. The rest of the instruction is very similar to the other two kits. And of course, you only have two painting and decaling guides for the two versions you can make from this kit. But these two are really nice liveries. And at the end, some advertisement from Arma Hobby. And the decal is a smaller sheet, but it contains all the stencils and it's just as nice as the other kits. The quality of these kits are simply amazing for 72nd scale. Congratulations to Arma Hobby for the quality they are able to achieve. There are other wonderful subjects in this range, and I will not hesitate to recommend them whether you are a beginner or expert. Now, Hobby EC has a full range of Arma Hobby in stock. You can check all the kits that Arma Hobby has produced on the link below. Once again, thank you for watching. Until next time, bye bye.